You can go to IdeoCast this next week, and you'll be able to hear what Tom Potter had to say about what Top Off was really about. It was about natural disasters. It was about the possibility of earthquakes and fires here in the Northwest. And he said it was very interesting to note that after Top Off happened, the situation in California happened, and now Governor Schwarzenegger has to evaluate the natural disaster, which was California. He said California was just one in many, and he says terrorism is not the problem. Natural disasters are. And they're coming. They're coming.
Let's do the reverse on Tom Potter.
We can reverse Tom Potter. I don't have the time. I may do it this weekend. Who knows? Go ahead.
Okay, first, also to back that up, about 9 months ago, you were talking about the bees dying off, and everybody said you were nuts, and you were just kind of making things up, and that wasn't true. If you check a lot of the major news sites right now, some of their top headlines in environmental sciences are why are the bees dying and what's going to happen for us.
We have here at Ground Zero Lounge, we break some of the weirdest stories. And people think we're crazy and they want to heckle and everything else, but let me tell you, man, you're getting it raw right here. I mean, David, when was the last time you were on the radio?
Oh, on the radio?
Yeah.
Gee, it's been a while. A few months.
So it's like, it's been a while since you've been on the radio, and now we're bringing you back out again, and you're live here with an audience.
Yes.
And so this has been a while since reverse speech has actually been in America, right?
Oh, yeah. There's been no significant movement in America for 8 years. Now, I'm hoping to change that. This trip is coming back to get reverse speech grounded here again.
Exactly. Are you gonna put your headquarters back in Portland again like you had before?
Yeah, I am.
So he's bringing reverse speech here to Portland, Oregon for headquarters. So give him a hand for that. This is where it's happening, man. Portland, Oregon. This crowd is where it's all at. Go ahead.
Well, then I wanted to ask David one final question. Have you ever reversed some of Clyde's speech, and hear what comes out of that weak little heart?
We did do some reversals on you.
Yes.
Actually, that was...
I can remember them well.
Yeah.
Some of the things that, and he doesn't have them available because I don't think, because I don't like to do my reversals in public, but I can tell you what some of them said. There were some reversals that he did on me, and some of them were basically, the one that I remember the most was, Satan is eating this planet. And it was something that, it was metaphoric in my opinion, but the idea is that there are those elitists out there, those people in power who are depleting the resources of the planet. And they blame it on you, okay? The planet's fucked up, it's your fault, and you are the ones that are going to have to pay for it. No, the planet is fucked up because of them, not because of you. They've been doing it all along, and now they're blaming it on you, and now they're expecting you to do all the work to get it back to normal again, when in reality, it's a struggle that's never going to make a leap in consciousness. No, it's not going to happen. Why? Because they lured us into this trap, and now we're stuck in this trap. What you need to do is pay attention to what they're really saying. Listen to what George Bush has to say. In fact, one of the things that prompted me to come and to talk to David and see if he'd come and do the show was that Bush was speaking at a conference, and they asked him about Vladimir Putin and him wanting to step down to prime minister so he can retain power in Russia. And you know what Bush said?
I'm thinking of that.
He said, I'm thinking of that myself. Now, people will laugh and say, oh, he was joking. But, I was in New York City in September of 2000 at the Empire Hotel when George W. Bush, the man who would be president, was speaking to a group of broadcasters, and he said, if you say anything bad about me, I will come down hard on you, because I will be in charge of the FCC. Now look where we are now, people. This guy, he makes these little jokes, and I wish that we would reverse him more. But you know what? Sometimes reversing a moron, garbage in, garbage out, it's the same fucking thing, back and forward. And it just comes and spews, and it's just shit coming out of every candidate, and you learn more about the character of these people, and you just want to run away. And a lot of people in local governments are seeing the bullshit too, and that's why you're not seeing people jumping at the chance to run for mayor or run for Congress or run, because they know exactly where it's going to end up. And so you've got to change it yourself. What do you got? Okay, I've been handed something to read. So, me being old, I gotta get my glasses and read it.
It changes every part of history.
Can you find another reversal while I'm trying to find my glasses? and then we'll wrap this up. She's been begging me to read this all night.
All right, talking about Bush here. Here's one of George Bush.
For America, this is a nightmare scenario. For the enemy, this is the objective. Chaos is the greatest ally, their greatest ally in this struggle. And out of chaos in Iraq would emerge an emboldened enemy with new safe havens.
So he's spinning his Iraq line, and backwards he says, our lies are no good now.
Allies with your good now.
Allies with your good now. Allies with your good now.
There you go. Now you're good because you got reverse speech. Okay, go for it, Tom.
Okay, she wanted me to read this, and I don't know why, but I'm going to read it. Okay, what it talks about here is how back in the days of the Japanese putting in camps, how people now are being put into camps. Crime and poverty go hand in hand with Asiatic labor, how Japanese immigration councils override laws, brown men are made citizens illegally, Japanese are menaced to American women, brown men. It was all evil in the public schools about, it's all talking about the perils. And the racism and the words that we all seem to hold, all the hatred that we hold inside of us regarding how we feel about each other, basically is what it says. Is that what you wanted me to read? And then it's what's inside of us that matters. I just saw a film that I hadn't seen in a while called American Psycho. Has anybody seen that film by applause? And how? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was about the Bush administration, and it was done way back when, even before Bush administration came out. And it basically says, you know, my confession means nothing because what's inside of me is what matters. What's inside of us, that dark center of us, that center of us, either we're putting light in there or we're putting darkness in there. And we're constantly conditioning ourselves either with darkness or light. And what you decide to bring out is what's important. What's coming at you is coming from within you. So if all you see is shit in the world, then maybe you should take a look at all the shit that's in you. And if you're seeing some good things happening and seeing some things change, maybe it's time we should get on with our lives and realize there are bigger monsters out there than the ones we sit and bitch about all the time. And we can do it. I mean, you know, we're going to have to be strong to fight those dragons that are waiting in the wings. And people who still wallow away in their victimhood about stuff that happened 8, 9 years ago, they're the ones that are just going to be laughed at and ridiculed. And we need to stand up and say, fuck that. We know what's going on inside each and every one of those politicians, and we're going to make the change ourselves. Hell, vote for yourselves for president. You are the ones who are going to take charge. Even Mayor Potter said, you know, if there's a natural disaster, everyone's going to expect a fire truck at their doorstep. You're not going to get one. You're not going to get a fire truck or a police officer. You know what you're going to get? You're going to get someone telling you, fend for yourself. Get yourself a 72-hour kit. Prepare yourself for what's about to go down. And that's important. What do you say?
Is Mayor Potter more worried about us, or is he more worried about the new Macy's? That would be the first question. Second,
you know, and I'll tell you what. You know, the mayor's getting a lot of shit for the Cesar Chavez thing. You know, that's bullshit. And I'll tell you why, because that's really not important right now. What he was involved with he was very frank about what's going on with this top-off thing. And what you get is the media spin. I'm giving you something raw, okay? And you're going to hear it raw. No, you are getting a media spin, and I'll tell you why. How many people think that Noble Resolve was done here in Portland? Not right now. You know what? It wasn't. It wasn't. That was something that he told me. He said the media had spun that it was done here. It wasn't. What was done here was Top Off 4. And how many people thought that there was going to be a bomb that went off here was basically, it was regurgitated and started by a group that he talked about. I'll let you hear the interview. It was started by a group of people that wanted it to happen. And they were going to make sure it was going to happen. So, I mean, there are a lot of things that you don't know about that the mayor gets tacked to, or even someone else gets tacked to.
Well, my only comment on that would be that I work for a union downtown. We're activists, and we put those banners up and stuff. I deal with these people each and every day. All those people that walk in and out of those buildings. I can promise you one thing right now. Nothing that goes on down there is for you and me.
That's not. I agree with you. But the truth of the matter is why do you think he's leaving? He's not going to run for mayor anymore. And why did he tell the Joint Terrorism Task